Okay, so it has been almost 4 or 5 days now since we installed the solution to the problem of plants overheating. So let's take a look at our cucumber starts and see what's happened to the three different kinds. We've got Atlantic Giant, we've got Bellatrix, and we've got Blanco. So let's take a look and see how they're doing. So these are the Atlantic Giant ones, and this one seems to be doing pretty well. It had a shade structure in front of it. This one over here has a natural shade structure from the corn. This is part of our Three Sisters planting, and the corn is actually providing shade, and this is doing exceptionally well. It's doing great. Over here though, we can see this pumpkin that didn't get any shade structure or shade from the corn is starting to droop. It's getting pretty overheated. It's not doing so well. So it looks to me like shade is helpful, and shade from the corn is especially helpful. Shade from the shade structure is okay, but this pumpkin is doing great. Let's take a look at the other ones. So let's walk over here. We've got a big patch of basil. That's looking great. Got spiderweb. And here we have a shade structure, and it's providing some shade during the hot part of the day. That pumpkin's doing okay. Got some more basil. Over here, this damage doesn't come from the sun though. We've got some insects, some bugs eating this plant, maybe even a squash bug infestation. Oh no, I hope I don't see any squash bugs. And over here, we've got a shade structure. This plant's doing okay. It's getting corn and shade structure shade, so it's doing well. Let's take a look over here. This is an interesting situation here. I kept some watermelons around for a couple of reasons, and one thing that we can notice right away, the pumpkin that got planted here was a Bellatrix is gone. This Bellatrix with a shade structure also hammered, eaten, as was this one. One thing to note, squash bugs eat just about any cucurbits, and squash and pumpkins, watermelons and pumpkins, are in the same family. Squash bugs will eat them both. So being next to this big patch of watermelon was not good for these pumpkins. Coming over here to this last bed, these are our Blancos, our white pumpkins. We've got a nice pumpkin here, getting good shade both from the corn and from the shade structure. This one is not doing too well, but one thing to note, when I got here, this shade structure was actually coming over, and I had to put it back up. So hopefully with a little shade from the shade structure over time, this pumpkin will start to recover and do a little better. Coming over here, let's do a little update on our luffa. The luffa is growing everywhere, and it's enmeshed itself in with our peanuts. And so the peanuts are getting some shade, and the luffa is just going everywhere. It hasn't flowered yet. It's probably not going to flower for a while. But boy, it's establishing itself. And when it does flower, hopefully we'll be able to get some luffa fruits that we can then dry and use, and hopefully maybe even at some point try and sell. More updates. We've got our sage growing. It's prolific. It's doing really well. Okay. We've got our chives. And just in case you're wondering what these plants are, we actually try to keep little labels there. This is thyme. Okay, you've put in upside down or written upside down. Okay. Our banana is not liking the heat very much. Note, it has sent up another sucker. This is asexual reproduction. Okay, just one banana plant sends up multiple banana plant suckers, because after a while this guy is going to die once it fruits, so it needs to send up little guys to replace itself. Again, this is asexual reproduction, does not require another set of gametes. There's not an egg or a sperm. It's just one individual organism making a copy of itself. And that's the rest of our garden. So stay safe, guys. Stay distant, stay home, wear a mask, and we'll see you next time. Knudson Garden Update.